Hello, it's Dr. Rhonda Johnson, and today is Thursday, October 15th, 2020. And today I'm going to be talking about that Barrington Declaration and herd immunity. You're probably going to hear a lot about this in the next couple of days. Basically, this Barrington Declaration is a petition that was signed by doctors and scientists and researchers from Oxford, from Harvard, and from Stanford. And basically, it calls for the United States and the United Kingdom to end their lockdowns, and it promotes having this coronavirus spread among young people in order to build herd immunity. Well, it's important to understand herd immunity. In the simplest of terms, in the lens of this coronavirus, it means that the virus is allowed to run its course in a population. And eventually there will be a point where more and more people are naturally immune. Now again, supposedly this document was signed by leading epidemiologists and scientists from around the world. But people did some fact checking on the signatures, and it turns out that 20 to 30% are totally fake, and some of these signatures are even laughable. But let's keep talking about herd immunity, because again, it is widely believed that this is a strategy that our current White House leadership has in planning to deal with this coronavirus. So what did this report say? I'll share some of its main points. That lockdowns are producing short and long-term harm to the public health. That underprivileged children are disproportionately harmed by being kept out of school. They advocate focused protection, meaning allowing those who have minimal risk from death from this coronavirus to live their lives normally, build up immunity through natural infection, and protect those who are at highest risk. And they cite retired people, and they say they should stay at home, have services delivered for them, and they advocate for frequent COVID-19 testing for people who are in nursing homes, etc. They say that they should be cared by people with immunity to this virus, and when possible, the retired people should meet people outside. For those who aren't vulnerable, this report says, they should get naturally infected and build up natural immunity. They should practice simple hand washing and stay home while sick. Now, there's no mention of masking, facial masking in this report. The report advocates for full opening in-person classes for schools, colleges, universities, open all restaurants, open all businesses, open all extracurricular activities, reopen the arts, music, sports. Basically, everything should be open, and people at risk can participate if they want to. That's the essence of this Barrington report. Now, I'll be the first to disclose that although I'm a physician, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not an infectious disease expert, although I do have a master's in public health and spent many years of my career working in public health settings. But I don't consider myself an expert like Dr. Fauci. However, I was extremely troubled by this report because we already know that nearly 250,000 people almost have died here in the United States. Over 1 million people have died in the world already, and people who look like me are, quote, in the high-risk and vulnerable population group. We've seen this virus kill multiple members of the same family. We've seen this virus leave children orphaned. We've seen the so-called healthy young people die from this virus. Right now, no one knows who's going to live or die when they get this virus. So this morning, when I was listening to the morning news shows, I was so relieved to hear Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is a scientist, who is a public health expert, and someone whose opinion that I personally respect, say that this report is totally nonsense. Dr. Fauci said, and I quote, "If you talk to anybody who has experience in epidemiology and infectious disease, they will tell you that this is risky, and you will end up with many more people who are vulnerable, infections of vulnerable people, and this will lead to hospitalization and death. So I think that we've just got to look that square in the eye and say that it is nonsense. Thank you, Dr. Fauci. So let's stay the course. Let's stay the course, folks. I've already said this before. To me, one of the functions of a good government is to protect its people and to keep them safe. Well, we see this pandemic is spreading, and experts are predicting that more and more people are likely to die. We already know that the United States leads the world in XX deaths from this preventable virus. Folks, we've got to start looking this virus as preventable if we just take the basic steps of hand washing, wearing a mask, watching our distance, and as the winter gets upon us, getting that window open and letting that fresh air get in so that indoors we can dilute the air, recirculate the air, and keep this virus from building up in our homes. We have to protect ourselves right now. We have to do everything we can to minimize our exposure to large groups of people and indoor events, period. We all have that superpower. These are simple measures that we can all take. So stay safe, stay connected, folks, stay the course, and stay alive. The best coronavirus infection is the one that never happens, period. It's Dr. Rhonda Johnson. My views are my own. Have a blessed day.